You are in the temple of the rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for Skankins, who said, or Skankins probably, rant about the phrase, finally, somebody said it. Well, I don't have any problem with this phrase. I mean, you know, sometimes you have that feeling. It's like, man, I've been waiting for somebody to say this thing, and it's about goddamn time. I should have said it myself, but I didn't want to be that guy, you know? Sometimes you're just afraid. You're afraid of the social repercussions of saying something, or, you know, you think, oh, man, I don't know if everybody else feels this way. Am I going to look like an asshole if I bring this up? But then somebody says it, and you're like, oh, thank God, it wasn't just me. We all felt this way, or at least somebody. I have solidarity with another human, you know? But what I do hate, I'm going to change the topic on you here, is the phrase, am I the only one who thinks? That is the shit version of this. Finally somebody said it is like, okay. If you think that you're the only one who thinks anything, you are wrong. There is no case in which you are the only one who thinks something, the only person with an opinion. Especially if it's something like, am I the only one who likes this song? And like anyone else is listening to it at all, like it's even come into your purview, would require that other people like it. It's just like, no shit. Like, always assume that anything you've thought of has probably been thought of before, or any opinion you have is probably shared by somebody else. Now, if you have never heard anyone express this opinion, then you might think, oh, finally, somebody said it. I feel that solidarity. And if you go out there and say, like, does anyone else think this? That's, you know, more acceptable. Probably the answer is yes, but if you're just trying to get somebody to talk to you, you know, that's fine. But if you go out there and you say, am I the only one who blah, blah, blah? It's just like, dude, of course you're not the only one. Of course not. Just because you haven't found them, you know, like, I don't know if this is if this is your mating call, if you're trying to, you know, bring those people over to you, but, like, particularly when I see this in YouTube comments, it can be so infuriating. It's just like, how can you possibly think that no one else has said or thought whatever you're thinking? It's crazy. I've had people, like, I see this a lot when it comes to music, where people will be like, you know, oh, this band, like, it seems like, does anybody other than me like this band? Like, in the comments of a video with 300,000 views, you're just like, clearly 300,000 people like this band. You know, like, tons of people are listening to this. Of course you're not alone in that. And, like, something that I can't stand, and I know this is me being an asshole, but, like, when people freak out about the fact that I know a thing that they also know about, when I'm like, you know, oh yeah, I listen to X band. And, like, it's one thing if you're just like, oh cool, I listen to them too, or like, oh wow, I didn't know you were a fan of that, like, that's all fine. But when people are like, oh my god, I've never met anyone else who was into Coheed and Cambria, and it's like, dude, there's whole fan communities dedicated to this band. Like, did you even look for other people who are into this thing? You're on the internet. It exists for the purpose of uniting people with similar interests. Like, the whole reason I started going online in the first place was because nobody around me was listening to the bands I liked or watching the shows I liked, and then I went online and found hundreds of people who were doing those things, you know? So, like, just, like, always assume somebody else is, you know, having the idea, and, you know, I appreciate the solidarity, and finally somebody said it. Like, obviously, you're not the only one, but I can appreciate why you might not be willing to come forward and say the thing in certain situations. But, you know, that doesn't mean that you should assume nobody else is thinking it. You know, like, you probably are not that original.